So this video will offend some people. And let me make it clear. I'm a pro Mike Tomlin guy, and I understand that there are Mike Tomlin, non-supporters out there or people who dislike Mike Tomlin, all that kind of stuff. I get that. But here's the thing. Mike Tomlin is yet again 3 wins away from a non-losing season. G'day, guys. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. Early morning for me, 9 a.m., getting ready for the day that is Ravens versus Bengals. I think we have to cheer for the Bengals. I know it's crazy, but how the standings are laying out in the AFC North, we either cheer for the Bengals or we cheer for the Ravens and kind of knock the Bengals back a bit more. But I think today we cheer for the Bengals, right? But this podcast, this episode of Steelers Nation Oz, and welcome back to the show. If you are new, awesome. If you're a returning viewer, make sure you hit the sub, hit the like, do all those YouTube things. If you are one of the original OGs from the channel from 3 years ago, I appreciate you tuning in. This one is going to go 50-50. And I've talked about it before, but for some reason, it just came to mind. I was in the comments with some Mike Tomlin crew who don't like what he's doing and fire Mike Tomlin this and fire that guy. He's a loser. He's awful as a coach, needs to be replaced. And I kept thinking, this team is not a good team. And we're 6-3. And yet Mike Tomlin has these guys 3 wins away from another non-losing season. And this is the point. I'll go through all these narratives again. We'll talk about Bill Cowher's players, which doesn't make sense. Okay. I think I read a stat, and it was something around the lines of Bill Cowher's plays. They only had about 40% of Bill Cowher's plays anyway. The rest were Mike Tomlin's. So when we talk about those Super Bowl, that doesn't make sense to me. And in any case, I always use this idea. If you talk about Bill Cowher's players, how funny would it be that won the Super Bowl, right? In 43. How funny would it be if they did fire Mike Tomlin this year, or in 2024, if he walks away and says, see you later, they get a new coach. If that new coach wins a Super Bowl in 2024, would it not just be Mike Tomlin's players? You see where I'm going with this? That's one of the narratives I keep hearing over and over and over and over again, right? And I've talked like throughout this channel's whole existence that Mike Tomlin is a winner and people need to deal with it. You look around the league for all these teams that are now the Patriots having trouble with Bill Belichick. That is the Cardinals are like a shell of a franchise, nothing there. The Falcons are in trouble, right? The Rams are in a little bit of trouble. Denver's trying to get out of their own way. The Giants would love a guy like Mike Tomlin. So there are these things out there, and I keep thinking back to, well, it's not, I almost said it's a debate. It's not really a debate. It's either, because you can't change my views and I can't change your views. And also, I do respect people's opinions. So if you want to leave your opinion in the comments, I'll try not to get too heated. But I can't be changed my view of like I'm pro Tomlin or the people who are against Tomlin. You just can't. This has been happening for 6-7 years in a row, where it's like you either like the guy or you dislike the guy and you want change. So there's that frustration building there because, yes, we haven't won playoff games in the last 4 tries. And one of the most common arguments that I get, and what is really annoying to me anyway, one of the most common arguments I get on this topic is, well, we need to see a playoff win. Regular season wins don't count. And I actually think that is the most stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. If regular season wins don't count, then how do you get to the playoffs? Do you get to the playoffs by 0-17, by 5-12? No, you have to win the regular season games first before you get to the playoffs. So here's a point where I find this stuff really frustrating, because in 3 wins time, if the Steelers beat the Browns, they beat the Bengals, the next minute they beat the Cardinals, they will be 9-3 and guaranteed a non-losing season. With Mike Tomlin, he's never had a losing season ever. He's been even, I think, 3 times, 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. Therefore, in his entire existence, how many games has he played? In 267 games, there's been 3 games that he's lost and he's been even. If those 3 games again, if he were to go under, so in 267 games, if he were to have lost 7-9 or 7-8 or no 7-9 at the time, then you have a losing season. Isn't that crazy? I find that crazy. So 267 games, 169 wins, 96 losses, and 2 ties, right? And only 3 times in the 17-year career, or however long he's been going, he's had the chance to maybe be 1 under. And he didn't. He went 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. In other years, he's gone 9-8 or whatever, or however they work it out now, because it's been difficult from the 16 games to the 17. So sometimes he goes 9-7, other times he goes 9-8, right? So that part is crazy to me. So I do want to give a shout out to the people who do support Mike Tomlin like myself. I do. I think he's a Super Bowl winning head coach. He can win again. I think he can be a Hall of Fame coach. I've said before that I'll be going to the Hall of Fame ceremony to shake his hands and thank you, because he has that many wins in his career, 169, and with 3 more to be above the non-losing season, we have 172, right? He's had, Super Bowl champ, AFC champ. He's had 8-9 wins in the playoffs. He's had 12-4 seasons, 12-4, 12-4, 11-5, 10-6, 11-5, 13-3, 12-4. The list goes on. And this has been going on ever since when? 2007. So he's been my coach for that long. 2007, from the age of 35 to him being now 51 years of age. So that to me is accomplishment, and that to me is success, right? So we're 3 games away from him being another non-losing season. But that's where the argument starts to really, it starts to heat up again. Because the Fire Tomlin crowd will come out and say, well, the non-losing season, we got to win a playoff game. Of course we need to win a playoff game. But it all starts with getting the regular season wins first, then building your team up, then go to the playoffs and have a chance. And here's a point I want to end with, okay? So I got 2 more points to go. First point is, it's really hard to win the playoffs. People talk about Super Bowls like it's easy. Like you walk in there as a team and you just get the job done 40-0. It's super hard. 12 teams have still never won. 4 teams in the National Football League have never been. Think about that. That's 12 teams. 12 teams out of 32 have never won. That's the Bengals, the Browns, the Jags, the Lions, Texans, right? And there's a list of others. Vikings, Bills, ton of others have never won. And you want to call out Mike Tomlin for not being a good coach or great coach. Doesn't matter how you say it. The guy's got a Super Bowl trophy. And he's also got one with the Vikings too. That's why I find it really crazy, man. How do you call out someone like that? That it's so hard in this league to win. Andy Reid and Belichick, I think right now as current coaches, are the only coaches that have multiple Super Bowls. Everybody else, like Harbaugh, who's the other bloke down in Sean Payton has 1. We have 1 with Tomlin. Tomlin's been to 2, right? That's a part that I don't really agree with. It's hard to win the playoffs, and it's very hard to win a Super Bowl. And yet we have fans wanting to boot the guy out, right? We want to boot him out, get rid of him. Here's my last point. What happens? What happens when you boot the guy out? What happens when Mike Tomlin retires? What happens if the Rooneys do fire him, which they never will? They won't fire him. What if they did? Imagine if you got your wish granted. If Mike Tomlin was fired and we get a new coach, what happens then? Because I tell you right now, it's not an easy transition from being a new coach by getting your team and just walking in and getting W's and getting playoff wins and getting, non-losing seasons, getting the right draft. It's not easy. What if the new coach comes in and he absolutely stinks? He's one of the worst coaches we've ever seen. Then isn't the grass always greener on the other side? Are we just not, happy with our current situation being Mike Tomlin? I am. I think he's awesome. I love the way he talks. I love the way that he leads his men. I love the way that he talks in podcasts and inspires people to motivate. So imagine if someone walked in as a new coach and took over the team, and the Yins is out there, saw him go 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, 1-5, 1-6, 1-7, whatever it may be. And we started losing the team. Look at the Browns. The Browns are a clear example of coaches, carousel, quarterback carousel, a non-stable environment where the Steelers are Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin since what? 1970s. That's 3 head coaches from the 1970s. And people want to whinge about we haven't won a playoff game in 7 years. So deal with it. Grow up, eat some concrete, and deal with it. Who cares? Over good, honest to goodness, who cares? You support the team no matter what, in the good times and the low times. And even when it feels low right now, being 6-3 with a winning record, I still hear complaints about we can't go to the playoffs. If we go to the playoffs, we're going to lose. That's a loser mentality. Stop having a loser mentality. Have a mentality about I'm hoping and cheering and keen to see this team get better and go win games. Cameron Hayward talked about the other day. He doesn't care about stats. He cares about winning the game. Mike Tomlin and Kenny Pickett talked the other day. They care about winning the game too. They don't care about stats. You go out there and you get the job done. Everyone complains, 50% of majority complains about getting rid of Mike Tomlin. He's awful. He sucks. He's stale. He's done. But he continues to win games. And he's 3 games away from being over 500. And you know what? Some people say to me, that's not successful. I reckon it is. Imagine being a coach in the league for 17, 18 years, and you've never had a non-losing season. You've had 3 years where you were even, and every single other year that you had a chance to go to playoffs, you did. Mike Tomlin's only coached 1 game. I'm pretty sure he's only coached 1 game where he was eliminated from the playoffs. Every other year, Pittsburgh Steelers fans have a chance in week 17 or week 18 to go to the playoffs. Imagine that, me being a fan now for 20 so years and Mike Tomlin being my coach. All I have known is this franchise winning or the possibility for them to have a chance to win and go to the playoffs. I've seen numerous playoff wins, division titles. I've seen Super Bowl wins in 40 with Cowher, and then I've seen Mike Tomlin in 43. Then I saw the Rashad Mendenhall fumble and Big Ben, picks in 45. I've seen the success in 2016 when we almost got to Houston, but then the Patriots beat us. I've seen all this. In 20 years, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers have done some really good things with Kevin Colbert as GM, and now it's Omar Khan as well. And here we are. We have half the fan base complaining and being annoyed over getting rid of Mike Tomlin, who is a future Hall of Fame head coach. I simply don't understand it. I really, really don't. And yes, you can have your opinion. I can have mine. That was my opinion for 14 minutes. Now it's your chance. Have your opinion too. Write in the comments below why you agree with me. Do you disagree with me? Do you agree with me in some parts and disagree in others? Do you disagree in some parts and agree in other parts too? But when it comes down to it, I get really frustrated because we are seeing something that doesn't happen around the league. All the other coaches around the league getting fired. The Bills guy just got fired? Bills offensive coach. You've got other head coaches in the NFL don't last as long as Tomlin, like 17 years, 16 years, whatever he is, right? I'm not even sure what it is. 17 years. You've got other guys in the NFL and head coaches around the league. They get fired, they get chopped up, they get moved on. But Mike Tomlin has been consistent. Yes, he hasn't won of recent times, but at least he gives you the chance and this team a chance to win every year. Think about that. Think about that being a fan as you sit there and complain and drink your beer and you're like, oh, we should be better team than this. We should be having Kenny Pickett throw more yards. The team is 6-3. The team is 6-3, and they're giving you a chance this week to go and beat the Browns to be 7-3. If the Ravens lose tonight, which we want them to, and the Steelers win, that means the Steelers are in charge of the AFC North. They're in front. And here we are complaining about Mike Tomlin should be fired yesterday. Mike Tomlin should have been fired 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I just don't, I really, really don't get it. I don't get it 1000%. And I'll never change my view. And people who have the other view on the other side, who want to get rid of Mike Tomlin, clean house and start over again, they will never change theirs. But here's your chance in the comments below. If you want to, then start to write back. Or if you want to as well, grab a microphone. You know, sometimes people tell me I do a bad job. Grab a microphone, grab a camera, have a poor light, become an Aussie, and start talking yourself. This is the way that I vent my frustrations and my love for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because I really do think that Coach Tomlin is an awesome, awesome coach, and he deserves much higher praise and credit than what he gets. He always gets criticism when the game loses. He never gets credit when credit is due. Never. Rarely gets credit. The last few weeks, we've won 2 in a row. He should be getting credit for that. If he beats the Browns and he beats DTR, that's another rookie quarterback that he's beaten. I think his record's now 31-5. He won't get credit for it. He just won't. Anyways, that's it. 17 minutes. I'm pro Mike Tomlin. He's 3 wins away. 3 wins away from another non-losing season. And I know all we're going to hear is, but we need to win a playoff game. We need to win Super Bowls. I wish we had this, wish we had that. Too bad. Support your team. Deal with it. Get behind Mike Tomlin. He's a winner. Deal with it. That's it. At the end of the day, just deal with it. When this team gets to nine wins, if it is the next 3 in a row and they go 9-3, deal with it. Man up, have some concrete, and deal with it. Right? Do you really need to complain all the time? You go to Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all you hear is complaining about Mike Tomlin is the worst coach. We need someone else coming in. I just say deal with it. Done. All right, guys. I'll see you later. That's it. Rant over. I'm pro Tomlin. There's other side. No one's ever going to win. I try and steer clear from this topic, but today I couldn't. Today I couldn't steer clear from this topic. I read too many things that were bashing him, and that's it. I'll see you later. All right, I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the game. Go Bengals. I can't believe I got to say that. Go Bengals. Here we go.